Buckets of rain, buckets of tears, got all the buckets coming out of my hands. Buckets of moonbeams in my hands. You got all the love, honey, baby, I can stand. Hey everybody, welcome to MT Guitar. Thanks so much for joining us today. We're doing Buckets of Rain by Bob Dylan, and this was the last song on Blood on the Tracks. And on the recording there's only guitar and bass and voice. When I learned it by ear growing up, I just learned it in standard tuning, and there was something missing. I knew there was something not quite right with my arrangement. As I learned more about guitar and about Bob Dylan, I later realized he's using open D tuning, which was actually a very common tuning for the songs of this album. And I'm going to show you not only how to play the song in this tuning, but also how to think about this tuning, because we can arrive to open D through a journey of other popular tunings. So if we tune one string down at a time, we can go from standard tuning to drop D, which is very common. So that would be the bass string tuning down to D. You can do that now if you'd like. Then if we tune down the high E to D, we're all of a sudden in double drop D tuning. The most famous example of that would probably be Going to California by Led Zeppelin, which I do have a lesson on that. If you tune down the B to A, now you're in Dad Gad. Very popular Irish folk tuning that sounds really beautiful, and a lot of fingerstyle players gravitate towards that tuning. Finally, if you tune down the G to F sharp, you're in open D tuning. So what happens is, if you're in Dad Gad, for instance, you're almost in open D, except that G gives you a sus4 tuning. Once you tune that G to F sharp, like I said, you're in full open D. Then if you put a capo on the second fret, we're in open E. Okay, and Bob really gravitated towards that. As a folk, master, Bob obviously journeyed through other tunings and other folk tunings, right? So we're going to do a Travis picking exercise to get going, because I'm a big believer in isolating the thumb. Okay. So before we even worry about the exact notes, we're going to get this thumb going in a quarter note pulse, which will continue throughout the whole song. Even when the chords change, we still keep playing the Ds here, the 6 and 4 string Ds. It creates chord inversions, G over D, A over D. So I'm going to break down the theory as we go. There is a tab for this on the Patreon with the exact strings and voicings if you're interested in checking that out. Other than that, I appreciate your support. Let's zoom in so we can really get down to the notes here and the chords and get started. All right, so if you haven't tuned up yet, let's get into open D tuning. I recommend always tuning without a capo on, just because it can mess with the string tension if a capo is on. So I'm already in it, but go ahead and tune your low E to D, right? Your high E to D, your B string to A, and your G string to F sharp, and then put a capo on the second fret. Go ahead and pause the video if you need to do that. All right, and so then it should sound like this if you just sort of strum all the strings. That would be an open E with the capo on the second fret. Pretty cool, right? Pretty cool tuning. So what we're going to do is, as promised, we're going to isolate the thumb, okay? And we're going to get the Travis picking going, because what you want to do is have a quarter note pulse with the thumb, okay? So you don't need to go fast, but if we just do 6th string, 4th string, they're both going to be D strings, which is going to happen literally throughout the whole song. When I was improvising during the demo, I played a couple other bass notes, but for what Bob Dylan played, it's all D. So let's do a quarter note pulse, nice and slow, just to warm up the thumb. We'll go 6th string, 4th string, back and forth, and I'll count us off, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Last bar. Good. All right. When we start, what's important is that we always keep this consistent. We don't want to rush or slow down the thumb, okay? So I'll throw the tab up there to make it a little more clear. We're going to basically put our first finger on the first fret, third string, ring finger on the second fret, first string. We're going to hit the sixth and third string together, okay? And then first string, second fret. Now the fourth string, and you slide it up on the anticipation, or on the and of 2. 1 and 2 and then 6 fourth. That's the main riff. Well, that's the first riff, I should say. So let's do it one more time. Let's kind of loop it here. Do it a couple times. 3, 4. Again. Last time. Good. All right, now for the second bar, it's kind of like the second half of this phrase. It's the call and response, or the antecedent consequent. So we're going to do all we need for the left hand is the first finger on the third string, first fret. Okay, we hit the sixth and third string together, second string, fourth string, and then you're going to hit the first string open, and as you do it, you're going to barely pull off, or just basically lift the first finger from the third string to open. You don't really need to pull it off. It's the only time I can think of where I'm not telling people, or my students, to really strongly and boldly pull off a note. Generally, you want that really nice crisp sound, but Bob Dylan is clearly just lifting his finger, and it's creating this nice, relaxed folk feel. So let me play it at tempo, then we'll practice it slow. Okay? You can pull it off a little, but don't go too crazy. So let's do it nice and slow a couple times, then we'll combine the riff with the first one. 3, 4. One more time. Okay, so now let's do both riffs together. Same tempo. 3, 4. One more time. Let's do it at tempo. 3, 4. Okay. Now, next phrase here. This is the G over D. So we're going to keep the thumb going. I'll just assume you have that going. And then we're going to do first finger, third string, first fret, ring finger, second string, second fret. And we're going to go third string, second string, first string with the thumb going. Okay. Then we go second string and then first string with the second fret, pinky. First string, second fret, second string, and then thumb, and then hammer onto second fret, and then pull off. It might be a little tricky with the thumb going. And then second string, first string, and you lift everything for the next. So that's a little tough, right? So let's take that nice and slow. Okay, last time. And then our sus thing where we did already before. So let's combine all that together. Ready? 3, 4. Good. Now the next part. That's what we've got. Now the final part here. We go to 7th fret, 3rd and 1st string, 2nd and 3rd fingers. And we keep the thumb going. It might sound a little weird. The bass covers it up in the studio recording so that the bass is going the actual root notes. But this is just classic Travis picking. The bass is just going to keep chugging along no matter what. So, third first, and then third slide down to 5th fret with the thumb. So, slide with the thumb, 1st string, thumb. Now slide down with the thumb to 3rd fret, 1st string open. So, 7, 5, 3rd, 1st string, and then our sus. Let's cover that again. Notice the hammer, notice the hammer onto the 1st fret comes with the thumb too, so it can be tricky. Last time, 3, 4. Now, when you start singing, and feel free to go through that, until you've got it. And when he starts singing, the only difference is he's not doing the fancy stuff over the G chord. So everything's the same until the 4 chords. So until the G chord. So buckets of rain, buckets of tears, all the same when he's singing. But here we just relax on the G stuff. So we go. Just play any string you want. Then it's all the same as the intro. Right. Good. Now we do after the 2nd verse, it goes intro, basically, verse, the intro riff again, another verse. Now we have the bridge. So we're going to go to 10th fret, 1st and 3rd string, and it's going to be 3rd, 1st, and then hit it again, slide to 12 and 12, and then hit 1st string. So that would be. Then everything else is identical. He goes into this, same as the intro. And then you can work it up as you get it. But for now, go slow. And it might take some time, So that's the thing about fingerstyle. We really want to make sure the thumb is accurate. And I've heard it being described as like a meditative thing. When you get the thumb going, you ideally don't want to think about it, and it's just happening. So you might need to relax into it and do it for a bit. So there you go. Those are all the sections. I was playing the melody that Bob sings in my demo for fun. And you would need to mess around with open tuning to find that, but it's basically just 0, 2, 4 on the 4th string, 2nd string open. Right? Very like a pentatonic major melody. And then I went to this G chord, which is 5th fret, 6th and 3rd string, and I hit 2nd, 3rd, 1st. Alright, just messing around with the open tunings is fun. That would be with the A bass, G bass, all the way up in the melody. Easier said than done, I know, but give it a try if you want. But the main part of this lesson is the actual Bob part. So hopefully that makes sense. Let me know if it's clear, if you have any questions, and enjoy. All right, well done, everybody. A nice fingerstyle song to have under our belt. Remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell, and I appreciate your support. We'll see you next lesson. Bye.